Welcome back to my channel. My name's Austin, and today I have a really fashionably late book haul. Like, Bookcon was a month ago, and yet I'm just now recording this. Listen, I'm the best at procrastinating, so there really is no excuse, honestly, but you know, here it is, and I hope you enjoy it. So let's get right to it, because there's a lot of books I have to talk about today. So the first book I want to talk about is one that I technically did get, but it wasn't at Bookcon, it was actually at BEA. My friend Sarah from Sarah Without an H was there, and she agreed to try to scout this book out for me, and she did, and she got it signed for me, and I'm so excited. I follow this author on Twitter. We interact all the time. He seems really great, really passionate about what he does. I love his character. I actually don't have this arc yet. I haven't yet picked it up from Sarah, so I'm just gonna put up the cover so you can see it. But I mean, I have it. It's just not my possession right now. So here, it's The Gravity of Us by Phil Stamper. I don't have the book on me, and I'm not really good at synopses. So I'm just gonna read a brief little summary. It follows this social media journalist with like 500,000 followers, and he's sharing his life online, living great until his father is his name is Cal, by the way. Cal. That's important to know. But his father is selected on this NASA mission to go to Mars. So like that kind of sucks. Like they have to relocate from Brooklyn to Houston. And so amidst all this chaos, Cal is just trying to deal with this situation, and he meets this other Astro Kid, is what he calls it, named Leon, and a romance ensues. So I don't know if I made this like, you know, apparent, but I love space. It does freak me out a little bit because like it's big. It's really big, and I can't really comprehend things that big. That sounded weird, but yeah, I love it because it's beautiful and it's really intriguing, and I love space, and that's all I'm gonna say. I love space. So I'm really looking forward to this book, and I have it, and I got it signed, and it's the only book that I got from like BEA technically, even though I wasn't there. So now we're gonna transition into the books that I got from Bookcon, and there's a lot. There are arcs and books that I bought during the event, so yeah, there's a lot. I tried to say I'm only gonna come back with the only arcs that I wanted. I was like 5 books max. I only really wanted like 2 or 3 arcs, and I wound up coming back with 12 books. So that's more than double the amount that I anticipated. But we're gonna get to the first one. This one was like one of the most anticipated arcs that I wanted to get there. Besides Gravity of Us, that wasn't a Bookcon. So this is the most anticipated one out of Bookcon. I asked her to get me this one too, but she couldn't. It's fine. It happens. Apparently it's a really coveted arc, so it's like not a big deal. It's gonna be available at BookCon. So my publisher was there too, and I asked the trade show coordinator there to try to pick up both these arcs too, the Gravity of Us and Reverie at BEA. Just in case if Sarah couldn't get them, I would have someone else that could probably get them, and if I got 2 copies, then I'd just give it away to someone that I knew. But it worked out really great. So Sarah couldn't get this book, but she got Gravity of Us. And then my trade show coordinator couldn't get Gravity of Us, but she got this other book that I wanted. So it's like, it paid off. Like, it's nice. Although it was available at BookCon, there was like 100 arcs for signing, and I was like the first in line, but that's fine. I still used the book that I got from BEA, so someone else could like have that extra book. It was kind. It was very kind. And I stayed in line with Rhiannon and Alex, because we had planned to go do that. But yeah. Anyway, the book. It is Reverie by Ryan LaSala. So excited for this book because it sounded so original. I mean, it really is original. So fantastical and amazing. But let me just tell you what it's about. Kay Montgomery is I think he's 16, but basically he wakes up half dead in the river and without a large portion of his memories. Like, he has like rough outlines, but like suddenly these 3 people are his friends, but he doesn't remember them ever being friends with him. And then things just start coming out of the woodwork, and there's these things called reveries, which are like basically a physical manifestation of a dream. And it is their job to keep these reveries in check, but there's someone lurking in the background that may have a sinister playing into what happened to Kane's memories. I'm like 3/4 of the way through. I don't know why I'm reading this so slowly. I picked it up right after Bookcon, and I think it's because like I like it a lot that I'm just reading it slowly, and I think I'm about to get into a reading slump, and that usually happens when I start reading slowly. So I'm trying to avoid that, and I've also been really busy, and that's no excuse. I've had plenty of time to read this, but I read a couple chapters and then I put it down and then get on Twitter. So it's like I should be finished with this by now, but I'm not. But so far it's great. I'm loving it, and I will talk about it in my next mini review. This next book is really important to me because I actually was tasked to edit this book at my publisher. And it's an import from, I believe, from Hachette. Yeah, Hachette. But yeah, I Americanized it, I typesetted it, I did 3 rounds of extensive editing on it. Not like structural, but since it's an import, you're not gonna like change any plot details because it's already been published. But I did help with like line editing because there's words you have to change from British to English for it to really make sense. So I'm really proud of it. I'm also like really irritated by the story since I read it so many times, but it's a middle grade and it is Mr. Penguin and the Fortress of Secrets. Like I said, it's a middle grade and it follows this penguin detective and his 2 psychics basically that help out on his adventures. And it is very, very juvenile. So it'd be fun to read. To see it in like physical form as an arc, and it's coming out like this season, I believe. It is a frontlist title in this release season, so it'd be cool to see that. And just like looking through it and like noticing all my edits that I did is just really cool. So this next book that I got is, if you haven't heard about this book, I'm be kind of concerned because it's been really hyped, and that is Renegades by Marissa Meyer. It follows renegades, which humans with extraordinary abilities, and they emerge from this ruined, crumbled society and establish peace and order where chaos reigned. We follow Nova as she gets closer to her target, and she meets Adrian, a renegade boy who believes in justice and in Nova, but her allegiance is to a villain who has the power to end them both. She's a thick girl, and I'm really excited to read it. I have never read anything by Marissa Meyer. Basically, I got this from the Fierce Reads booth. And basically, they were doing this promotion in the very beginning of Bookcon. Right when you walk in, there's this booth, and if you buy a book, you get either a merchandise or you get an arc. So, me thinking, I was like, okay, I'm not gonna buy anything that's within like a series like Children of Blood and Bone or Grisha trilogy, because like they come with like specific things that I've seen people get. I forgot that this was actually a series, but I needed it. It's fine. So I bought this, and then they gave me a tote bag. I don't know where it is. So they gave me that tote bag. I was like, but I want an arc. So I was like, I already bought a book, so now I have to buy another one to get an arc. And I was trying to get Red Sky is Falling, even though I haven't read Black Wings Beating, but I saw it on the thing, and I was like, maybe they have it. They didn't, but it's fine. The book that I chose to buy for the arc is The Kingdom by Jess Rothenberg. And I haven't really heard about this, but when I picked it up, the girl from Fierce Reads was like, that's a good one. And I'm like, I'm going to hold you to it, and if it's not, I'm going to come and find you and be mean to you. The Kingdom is an immersive fantasy theme park where guests soar into virtual dragons, castles loom like giants, and bioengineered species formerly extinct roam free. It's also home to the fantastic 7 beautiful android hybrid princesses whose sole purpose is to make dreams come true. I'm not going to read any more of that because I don't want to read directly from the jacket copy because the video's going to be too long. But basically that's it, and I'm pretty sure things ensue. But of course, I really wasn't as interested in this book, but it looked the coolest out of the other books that were available, and all the other ones I already owned, so I was like, I might as well buy it. Since I bought it, they were like, what arc do you want? There was this little banner that shows you all the arcs that were available. Granted, I've heard of none of these arcs. I had no idea that was there until when I bought it. I was like, oh, so no Red Sky's Falling, cool. So I'm like looking, I want to find the one that's like the most attractive cover. The book that I got was There Will Come a Darkness by Katie Rose Poole, and little did I know that it's apparently like really well known, and I didn't know, so apparently not that well known, but they compare it to The Guild of Wolves and Six of Crows, because I think it's like a group of people on a heist. But for generations, the separate prophets guided humanity using their visions of the future. They ended wars in the United Nations until the day 100 years ago when the prophets disappeared. And we have a prince exiled from his kingdom, a ruthless killer known as the Pale Hand, a once faithful leader torn between his duty and his heart, a reckless gambler with the power to find anything or anyone, and a dying girl on the verge of giving up. So, from people who have already started reading it, I've heard great things. After I finish Reverie, I'm going to jump right into this one because I'm really excited and I love group things, and I don't know what to call it, like group narratives. Yeah, there was 2 authors that I wanted to see that I got to see, and I'm really excited that I got their tickets. First one is I Wish You All the Best by Mason Deaver. I read this as an arc, and it was probably my most favorite queer contemporary of the year so far. I'm pretty sure it's going to remain that because it has such great representation, and I connected to it a lot. And yeah, go watch my mini review for my entire thoughts on that. But Mason signed it for me, which is really nice. They were just very sweet, and I'm glad I got to meet them. I was very awkward in person, but that's just because that's how I am, especially in situations like that. So anyway, the next book I got, they were also in this signing with Mason, and I have one of their books that Michael gave me back when I went to New York the first time, so I didn't want to buy that book again. And this book is Hurricane Child by Kaysen Calendar. They go by Kaysen now. I'm pretty sure it'll change in the reprints. They were very, very sweet. They signed it too, and they wrote me keep writing, it meant a lot to me. So, and especially these two authors just mean a lot to me, and how that they're just in the voices of YA, and it just gives me a lot of hope in the future when I start doing my writing. I believe Hurricane Child is a middle grade from what I'm reading, but Caroline Murphy is a hurricane child. Being born during a hurricane is unlucky, and 12-year-old Caroline has had her share of bad luck lately. She's been bullied by everyone, but when a new student named Kalinda arrives, Caroline's luck begins to turn around. Kalinda, a solemn girl from Barbados and with a small smile for everyone, becomes Caroline's first and only friend, and the person for whom Caroline has begun to develop a crush. So queer middle grade, I love that. I'm all for that. The next book I got was, I think I got it on day 2. I was in line with Katie from Katie's Book Nook, and her friend. I had never really read this author before. I had heard of her first book, and I heard like mixed things about it, so I never really gave it a try. Madison gave me her spare ticket for it, and I was just waiting in line with Katie, so I bought the book. And I've heard great things about this one, so I was like, might as well, and it's a signing. So it was very awkward when I first went up there, because I was like, I haven't read any of your books. But I was just trying to make a little small talk, and I was still as quiet as I usually am, and I'm like, I'm really excited to read it. And I didn't mention that I haven't read any of her books, because I've been awkward. And that is Sorcery of Florence by Margaret Rogerson. Obviously a diehard fan. But she signed it for me, and that was really nice. And she said, always be polite to books, which I totally agree with. This one, all sorcerers are evil, and Elizabeth has known that as long as she has known anything. Raised as a foundling in one of the Ostermer's great libraries, Elizabeth has grown up among the tools of sorcery. But then an act of sabotage releases the library's most dangerous grimoire. Elizabeth's desperate invention implicates her in the crime, and she's stormed from the home to face justice in the capital. And things ensue. Yep, I'm great at summarizing. That's what I do. This is why I don't write jacket copies at my publisher. The next book I got that day I waited in, it was the second day, in the very first hour of Bookcon. That makes no sense. 10 o'clock, I got there, and I rushed in because I was reading all the art drops and wanted to get this book called, I forget what it was called. I think it was called Rewind, but I missed it. I was like one of the last ones to get there, so interesting. People were literally running to get in line, so I missed it. But the other book I was just as excited for. The author was really, really nice, and I got to take a picture with him, which I was like, I haven't read any of your books either, but here's a picture. I'm too shy to be like, no, I don't want a picture with you. So I took a picture. And that book is The Dreamy Tree by Matthew Mather. What an interesting alliteration right there. Matthew Mather. This was supposed to be an ARC, but they gave us finished copies, and this book doesn't come out until July, which is pretty cool. I'm all for finished copies instead of cheaply made ARCs, but ARCs are kind of like bragging rights in a sense, are collectibles, but it's fine. I got the finished copy and for free, and that's really nice. When I was reading the synopsis, it felt like a adult unwind by Neil Schusterman. Basically, after a near-fatal crash, Royce Lowell Vendaway wakes up to find he's one of the first patients to undergo a radical new procedure, a full-body transplant. It sounds amazing. I'm really excited to read it, and I haven't read that many. I've read adult books, don't get me wrong, but reviewing them for my channel, I need to read more of those, and this one seems amazing and really, really fun to read, so I'm gonna get to it as soon as possible. And yeah, he also signed it for me, my name, but he said thanks for reading, but it looks like thanks for ready. The next book I got was not an ARC, and I got it in line with Katie. For some reason, I thought she was the author of Gideon the Ninth. Madison, her friend, sent me tickets for the author of Gideon the Ninth, but I forgot about it, and I thought it was this author, so it's fine. Whatever. I mean, the book's gonna come out later, and I can also request it online, so it's not that big of a deal that it didn't get an ARC. Also, probably a good thing, because I would have had no space to put it. And this is the 5th season by N.K. Jemisin. She has a new release out. I think it's called, I don't know. I forgot the name, but it was I don't know. I really don't remember. I can put up the picture right here, so I don't look like a complete idiot, because I really don't remember the name. But it's fine. And I think she was selling it there. I don't know, but Katie told me that this series is really good and she was signing them. This is the way the world ends for the last time. Starts with a great red rift, across the heart of the world, soul continent, spewing ash that blots out the sun. Probably the super volcano, I'm assuming. It starts with death, with a murdered son and a missing daughter. It starts with betrayal and a long dormant wound rising up to fester. 5th season, so I'm assuming that it's just like apocalypse, not like fall or spring, but apocalypse. So it seems pretty interesting, and I've heard Katie was hyping this up, and I'm gonna read it as soon as possible. It's another adult book, I'm pretty sure it's an adult book. This next book, I've heard about it, not many things about it, but like I've heard about it. And I think I saw a NetGalley and I was considering getting it, but I had too many books that needed to be reviewed, so I didn't want to like mess up my ratio. But it was there, and they tried to offer me a ticket, but I was on my way to go see N.K. Jemisin, so I was like, no. I'm just giving it to someone who like really wants it, but by the time like I made my way back around, they stowed copies, so I got my book signed, and it is I'm Not Dying With You Tonight by Kimberly Jones and Gilly Siegel. Basically, Lena and Campbell aren't friends. When both girls attend the Friday night football game, what neither expects is for everything to descend into a sudden mass chaos. Chaos born from violence and hate. Chaos that unexpectedly throws them together. So that's cool, and they both signed it for me and gave me a bookmark. Yay for ARCs and Source Books for one of their ARCs. Love that. And then this last book I got because let me tell you something. They had a thing, I don't know what you call it, but it was this big just setup that was mimicking the show that's been just adapted for it. And it was terrifying, and let me just tell you what it is. It's Nosferatu by Joe Hill. I've heard about it before, but I was like, whatever. But then they were there, and I was slightly terrified. But then when I heard about what the synopsis was, I was like, didn't realize that it's like one of those books with like really Bible thin pages. It's like 700 pages. And the text is fairly, so I'm a little intimidated. It's paperback too, so I don't like paperback that much, but I want to read it, so I'm going to read it. And the show looks amazing, but I need to read this before I watch the show because that's just how things work around here. Basically, Victoria Vick McQueen has an uncanny knack for finding things. When she rides her bicycle over the rickety bridge in the woods near her house, she always emerges in the places she needs to be. But she doesn't tell anyone about her unusual ability. Charles Talent Manx has a gift of his own. He likes to take children for rides in his 1938 Rolls Royce Wraith with its vanity plate Nosferatu. And basically they can like travel. They go to this amusement place called Christmasland. It's basically just this vampire story, but like modern, I guess. Like Nosferatu, but like I don't know what that was, but yeah. Yep, so I'm excited to read that. I don't know when I'm gonna get to it, but Boston from Boston Books says it's really good. So yeah, I hope I don't get to a reading slump because I don't need that right now. I really don't. I need to get back into it. I have too many arcs that need to be read before September. No stress at all. But I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get all these arcs out of the way, and then yeah, that sounds good. Which means I can't request any books off NetGalley. I need to stop because I keep doing that. I'm gonna get so far behind, and it's gonna stress me out. So that's all the books I got at Bookcon and BEA quote. Since I wasn't there, but maybe next year. Bookcon was so much fun. I had so much fun meeting everyone. I got to spend time with Rhiannon, Rocky, Sam, Michaela, Alex, Katie, Julia, another Katie from Katie's Book Nook, Madison. So many like great people, and I can't list all the names because it's just I'd be going on forever. I had so much fun meeting all of you, and I had just so much fun, and I miss it so incredibly. Just talking about all these books and remembering the experience just makes me really emo. Yeah, there's always next year and other things like Y'all Fest. If anyone's going to go to that, I'll be there. So that's like in November, but I'll be there. So yeah, that's all I have to show you guys, and I will see you guys in my next mini review. So bye bye.